All right, let me move on to the next one. I don't think I have a name on this, but it says in Matthew chapter 10, it says that Jesus gives his 12 disciples the authority to cast out demons and heal every kind of illness and disease. But what about Judas? Question mark. Did he also receive that authority? And was Judas a Christian who made a mistake in betraying Jesus, or was he never a Christian to begin with? I know you don't know his heart, so can't give me a definitive answer, but what is the evidence behind whether or not he was a Christian?
Okay, man, let's look at this, man. Let's look at the text. So, Matthew chapter 10, and when he had called his 12 disciples, how many? 12. He called his 12 disciples to him, and he gave them, notice that he gave them, all 12, power over unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all kinds of sickness and all kinds of disease. Verse 2, now the names of the 12, and then he lists the 12, okay? So, in my opinion, the text is very clear that Judas was given power to cast out demons.
Yep.
Now, the second question, was Judas a Christian? That's the one that you got to take a little bit deeper. I'm going to give you two things to think about in regards to that. Number one, the Bible says that Judas was a thief in the Gospel of John. I don't remember the address, but it says he was a thief and that he liked to take the money out of the treasury. Okay, so that's the second thing I want to say about this. The third thing I want to say about this is in Matthew chapter 7, verses 21 through 23, and I want to read this to you. It says, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name? Hey, Judas went out with the 12 and they preached, right? It says, have we not cast out demons in your name? Hey, Judas was a part of those guys. Have we not done many wonders in your name? The disciples went out and did miracles. But here's what verse 23 says. And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Not I used to know you. I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. So what that tells me, and again, this is just my opinion, like the question was, we don't know the heart of Judas. But my personal opinion, again, this is just my opinion. You can do what you want with it. I personally do not believe Judas was truly born again, because he fits the criteria of Matthew 7, 21 through 23, where Jesus says, hey, listen, you had the power to preach. You had the power to cast out demons. You were given the power to perform miracles, but he uses the word, I never knew you. And I think that text fits Judas to a T.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm going to open a can of worms here, but I just want to make
I love worms.
I just want to make the
Fishing.
point that this is one of the areas that when you're talking about, because this is the subject matter that comes up with questions like this, predestination.
I knew you were going there,
right?
bro.
Calvinism,
I knew you were going
Arminianism, but did God choose us? Do we have a choice in the matter? It's like, I don't want to, we talk, Pastor Steve talks about that enough on this show. If people watch it and tune in, they have an idea of that. But here's the situation. You have the Lord who calls him a disciple.
Yeah.
One of the 12.
One of the 12.
Pours into this guy for 3 years. He's around the same miracles that are going along with all the other 11, right? Lets him handle the money. Knowing that he's getting ripped off.
Yeah.
Loves on the guy. Judas, do you betray me with a kiss? Like, he's reaching out over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
To take that position, that 3 years of ministering to the guy, and then go, well, the Lord didn't choose him. It's like, man, I beg to differ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, he spent 3 years trying to reach the guy. And so to me, that's one of those verses that's kind of just a little nugget of the heart that God has when it says, I want everyone, that I died for the whole world.
Yeah.
And all those issues that come up. I think Judas is a great example on those doctrinal issues.
Here's the balance. Jesus says, have I not chose you the 12 and one of you is a devil? So he uses the word choose right there.
Yeah.
And then another passage says that Jesus knew from the beginning who would betray him.
Yeah.
So you see the sovereignty and the free will.
Yeah, and I know that's the can of worms, because then to your point, all the guys that are on the other side will go, and out of my hand I have lost none except for the son of perdition. And so there's a prophecy that says he will do that. But I don't, unless you take all of those 3 years of ministry as somehow different than the 11 or fake, for lack of a better term. You know, there's a balance there that God chooses us, and we get a chance to respond yes or no.
Right.
By a choice.
Judas, to me, is a perfect example of the modern day false convert. Hangs out with Jesus' people, but he's not converted.
Yeah.
Churches are full of people like that, bro.
Yeah, totally.